Good evening. This is the postcard on my book, The Good Evil Scroll. This is the discussion, the third discussion that we're having on YouTube, and I hope that some of you who have read the book find it interesting and would like to get back to me with some comments on the main statements of faith that the Purist sect that put this, that had the scroll 500 BC, some of the main statements of faith, and we can discuss it on Alan V.Gordon at hotmail.com. So let's start off the discussion tonight on some of the main statements of faith. Of course, the one that I've had the most feedback on is the controversial one dealing with knowledge of God and the fact that God is both good and evil. But let's start off at the beginning, which is a good place. And the first statement of faith that this sect put out was that we know you as all there is. They had no name for the Creator, their God. Remember, this was a Jewish sect that was practicing, started off practicing in Babylon and Damascus. They were purported to be a sect founded by the son of Isaiah, one of the major authors in the Old Testament, and they believe that look, there's no name for God, that we don't know what he looks like, so we just say you are all there is, and they stress the fact that we are all part of you and you are within us. We know you as the true source, and we know that you see all of your creation as equal. There are no people selected as God's people, God's own people. We are all God's people. And because they believe that he or she was all there is, they didn't give him a name, but they said that we know that within each of us, you are in our consciousness. So God is within you. It's like the Buddhism who says go inward, don't go forward, but go inward. And we know that you wish to experience you because we look inwards each time and we find God. If we look within ourselves, and we will find God who is within us. We know that you've created both darkness and light, and good and evil. And in this I refer to my first page in my book, The Good Evil Scroll, where in the Tanakh it says in Isaiah 45:7, I am the one who forms light and darkness, who makes peace and creates evil. I am Hashem, maker of all these. And of course in our Christian Old Testament, it says in Isaiah once again, I form the light and create darkness. I make the peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So they said that we know that you create good and evil, and we acknowledge the fact that you are supreme and within us. We know that you allow our sanity, by letting us know from where we began and when we will end, and that you keep us from extinction through our positive giving male organ and the negative receiving female organ, combining both into a natural unity. We know that you have planted within us a moral voice, a voice which says we know what is right and what is wrong, naturally. We don't have to be told by any church or book. We know when we do something whether it is right or wrong. We know that all life is shaded and that only you make yourself known to us through mathematics and natural laws which describe your existence. We know that you consist of all our ideas, both good and evil, and that you reveal yourself not only through us as your creation, but also by your being and non-being at two places at once. We know that through you there is no such thing as nothing. There is therefore only +1 and -1. Accordingly, there is only good and evil within your essence. And this duality is the reality of our existence. We know that it is possible for us to sin against you. I mean, they're stating the obvious. We are creatures of our Creator, and He has given us the ability to do right and wrong, and therefore they're saying we know it's possible for us to sin against you, as it is the height of human arrogance for any of us to assume to know just how you, our Creator, wish to be obeyed. In other words, things like the Ten Commandments, the natural laws, they are basically creations of man. We know that God expects us to sin, and that we within ourselves know what is right and what is wrong. And there is no need for rules and regulations on what type of food to eat and what to do in circumstances. We know that what we do and whether what we do is right or wrong. So these are some of the statements of truth that are listed in this Good Evil Scroll, and I've had a lot of positive feedback from my readers who've ordered it on I guess Amazon and all those places, and how it was found after being lost 2,000 years ago, and it was found in Palestine just after the Second World War, and then it was smuggled out of Palestine and then given to someone, and the book traces the journey of the scroll, the Golden Scroll, the Good Evil Scroll, and discusses some of the main tenets of this Purist sect. They call themselves the Pure Believers. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed reading my book. If you haven't read it, you should. It's a good short read. It's not a very long book. It's only about 105 pages, but it has a lot of very interesting and valuable insights into the Purists, the Pure Believers' thoughts about the Creator God. As I said, if you want to discuss any of the points in my book, please email me to Alan V.Gordon at hotmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So until we meet again, thank you for joining me on YouTube, and good night.